Hey guys, I'm Rachel Cruze.
I'm George Kamel.
And this is
Smart Money Happy Hour.
Woo!
That'll put some hair on your chest.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
This does look like a tree though. I don't think I can drink it with the tree.
It's nature, Rachel. Get used to it.
I mean, oh my gosh. Well, this is the show where two friends who happen to be money experts talk about what you're talking about. So everything from pop culture, current events, and money. And today, George, we have a very special episode of Smart
We're
Money.
live, Rachel, from Nashville, Tennessee at Total Money Makeover Weekend! Wow.
The drama of the lights. I know, so this is always exciting because with the live audience, we get to talk to you guys, interact. You guys get to be part of the episode. And those of you watching or listening at a later date, join in as well because it's always fun.
Always a good time.
And George, you know, we always love a good theme.
Love a theme.
Always for these episodes. And so today, we're gonna kind of go on that transformation theme and we're gonna kind of channel our Stacy and Clinton. Does that name ring a bell at all?
Is that Bill?
A little What Not to Wear. Do you remember that show, What Not to Wear on TLC? Any fans of What Not to Wear back in the day? Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That was a high-pitched scream, most of the ladies. But those transformation shows like What Not to Wear, I mean, they were fantastic. And then we went through like an era of transformation shows, makeover shows, George.
Well, it's partially why they called the book Total Money Makeover. During that time, that was the hot thing, was everyone wanted a makeover for their house, for their life, for their clothes, to money, of course. So your finances deserve their dramatic before and after moment, and we love to be nostalgic, so we thought this is the perfect combo for today's event.
Yep, so that's what we'll be chatting about. But first, we are sipping on a what?
A strawberry basil martini with a very fresh strawberry picked from the garden. I didn't even know this is how strawberries came. I didn't know they had this many leaves. Oh, I was lied to.
Oh, look at that.
Michael's so fancy, he got a basil leaf and he made a hole in the straw. Wow. I really thought I don't know enough about strawberries. It's a lot of tree. They come on trees.
Man.
We're going to reveal our rating and reveal the cost per glass at the end of the episode. The recipe's in the show notes. If any of you want to try this at home, just don't spill it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay, it's good.
Feels real earthy.
Yep, so this weekend here in Nashville, while with our audience that we have here, this event, again, is all about transformation, and specifically with your money. Like, we're focusing on that a lot this weekend. And again, everyone loves that good, like, transformation story. We love seeing, like, the before, and then you see the after, and it's just beautiful. Like, the after is what we're all going for, you know? And back in the day, it was all these shows that we saw. So What Not to Wear. This was one of my favorites. Okay, so this was, if you're unaware, it was on TLC.
I wasn't watching this. I was busy just being a man. You know what I mean? Doing man stuff.
You were skateboarding.
That's true. I was at the skate park.
You were at the skate park.
Which is manly in hindsight.
Sort of. Takes a lot of courage, George.
It does.
You have a lot of courage.
It's an extreme sport.
No, but it was Stacey London and Clinton Kelly, and they would have this like intervention with somebody, right? An average person out there with their friends or their family nominate this person, and they call them like the fashion felon. And so what they would do though is go and get them a whole new wardrobe, usually around like $5,000. And of course you see the before and after pictures, right? And with that show specifically, they made them clean out their closet. So if they had to adopt the whole process of this, but you would see them in those like baggy, terrible clothes that didn't fit. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And then they look great, right? It's amazing. It's amazing what good clothes will do for you. So that was What Not to Wear. That was a good transformation show.
Yeah, another one was Extreme Makeover Home Edition. I'm sure a lot of you watched that one. Get teary-eyed every time. Move that bus.
Move that bus.
I love when they move the bus. Best part of the show. So Ty Pennington and a team of experts would completely overhaul homes, interior, exterior, the landscaping, all within 7 days. It was insane how they did this so quickly, and they send the family away for a week. They got teams working around the clock, and they do the big reveal.
Okay, do we have anybody that does construction or home build in the audience? I've always wanted to know this. Is it possible to do that in 7 days? I knew it! I knew it. It's a conspiracy.
My life is a lie.
I knew it.
What are they doing then?
They're lying to us.
Is it
they?
faked? It's all fake.
Okay,
Way to
always
ruin
thought
TV for me. I thought everything was real.
Yes, I always wondered that because it was like the footing, the foundation. I'm like, there's a lot that goes into the structure of a home. And from the ground up in 7 days, like I just didn't believe it. What a truth teller. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Oh my gosh. Best part of my night.
Next one, The Biggest Loser.
Oh, this was a good one.
That one was emotional because for some reason, I feel like weight is such an emotional thing. Like your self-worth is tied in it. There's a lot of shame.
Yeah.
So to transform your body is one of the most inspiring things possible.
Yeah, so that was Jillian Michaels and Bob Harper. And again, they coached these contestants. And this one was over a longer period of time. But there was a cash prize.
Ideally, not a week.
Yeah, no,
you know?
No, it was over
It was
a
like
longer period
30
of time.
weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like 7.5 months.
Yep. But the cash went to the person that had the highest percentage of weight that they lost from starting weight, right? So, and it was up to $250,000 they would win. So there was like a money part of that
Angle
too.
there, yep.
Yeah, which was big.
That was a good one.
Yeah, but then there's also Trading Spaces, Wife Swap. Did you ever watch that one?
What was the Trading Spaces one?
That was trading the homes, right?
And then the wife
The
swap
design,
is like,
that's right. You would design each other's home. Like you would get a room in the house and they would swap and have to design.
but wife swap, they're just another mom. Like you have a new mom for a
Oh,
week.
those were the best.
Wait, that was the kid who's like, bacon is good for me. And he was like, that was the best episode. He was so angry, she threw away all of his bacon.
Yes. Because you'd get like a mom that the kid did whatever they want, and then you had like the really strict
Yes.
mom.
I remember
Swap
his
houses.
tagline because I use this on my wife. He goes, "You think you're the queen and we're the sorry people."
Yeah.
And I always say that to her.
Is that the nanny? Are you thinking of the nanny, super nanny?
I don't know. I just remember this little kid and he was hilarious. Like this kid, give him an Oscar for this performance.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So again, these were fun to watch. Really fun shows. Great shows. Great entertainment.
And they had some depth to them.
Yeah, I would say so. You get to know the people in the process. But one thing with like the total money makeover, when you think about that, you think about the baby steps and transforming your money. There's some things that we have in common, I feel like, with these shows.
100%.
Yeah,
a
there's
lot
some
of the
good
same
stuff.
principles apply. And so we're going to kind of unpack some of the lessons to be learned from these transformation shows as it relates to you all's money.
You all.
That's what we say in the South.
Yeah.
I'm from Boston and we say guys, which just makes it easier. You guys.
Hey guys, I say guys. Am I Northern?
You're Northern now.
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
I must be. Okay, so one of the great lessons I think of these shows is that you need a guide, right? There's always the expert in a sense that is part of this, right? So whether it's the fashion, whether it's the home designer, there's somebody that knows what they're doing. And they've done this for a long period of time usually, except for the builders who are liars. We just learned that. But these people, they are really good at their craft, right? They know what they're doing, and they've seen social proof of what they are teaching said person.
Yes.
That it works, right? That they know what they're doing. And so there is something too about this idea of following a plan that you know works, right? And having that person, which I think is really helpful,
And it can be
right?
a trainer, a coach, a mentor,
That's
a
right.
financial expert. This can look different for a lot of people, but every great movie, there's a guide, right? Like Yoda and Skywalker.
Yeah, there's somebody there that's helping. And again, I think about what not to wear. Stacey and Clinton, that was a guide. You got Jillian and Bob. You got George and Rachel. You know,
Hey,
you got us. That
that'll
could
do.
maybe be some helpful.
Good enough for government work, that's what I say.
But a lot of these shows, though, it required the contestants, the guide required the contestants to go all in.
You got to
right?
commit.
Yeah, so like you had to throw out your closet, everything that you had, because if you gave them money, they would go buy the same clothes that they normally would buy, right? Or same with decorating the house. They would just go and just do what they know. But they required them to, take everything out and say, nope, we're starting new.
Reset.
Which is big. Yep.
That's part of transformation. So
Yep.
if you want to glow up, you got to learn something new. You got to have the right people in your corner. And they had these experts guiding them, teaching them to adapt new habits. And financial literacy is a big part of that. A lot of people, they're well-meaning. They just didn't learn about money growing up. And so to have a guide like Dave Ramsey or some of these personalities that we've got now is so helpful because they just go, oh, I learned something new. I can't do something dumb again. I know too much to stay the same.
Yep, which is important. And again, there are some rules that are important. So I'm going to go back to what not to wear because I loved that show. So Stacy would always talk about you don't wear horizontal stripes.
Oh, I didn't know
look
that.
Like an inmate, or it just makes you look whiter than you are. So she had that rule. The way clothes fit, that was her. So she just had these like strict rules, Stacy did, about the clothes. And there's some rules and some patterns to follow. And again, they know what they're doing. So the moral of the story is follow the guide. They know
just
what
trust
they're doing.
them. You got to trust. It's like a little bit of a trust fall here. Even following the baby steps, you're like, really? Smallest balance to largest? You're like, just trust us.
Yes.
It works, bro.
It works, yep.
I love that.
Which is what's fun about this weekend, about all day tomorrow, what we'll be doing here, talking to you guys about money.
Someone's going to leave with a new wardrobe, Rachel. I just feel it now.
Hope for.
Some of these people could use it.
Yeah. Okay, have you...
I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Some of these people already transformed because they have new Ramsey merch, which is just crushing it.
Just there.
With the new Ramsey merch.
Yeah, there is. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Okay, have you had what are things in your life, George, that you're like, oh yeah, I needed a guide. I needed somebody, like an expertise in an area.
I'll tell you about a guide fail that I had. I once enlisted the help of a personal trainer, which as you can tell, I'm doing okay. Doing okay. No, I'm kidding. My first personal training session, I passed out. Straight up. In the gym, they pushed me too hard. Like, come on, man, 3 more. Next thing I know, I open my eyes. They're feeding me Sprite and crackers. And they're like, bro, you lost all the color in your face. It was crazy.
George.
And I never went back. Haven't worked out since, if I'm going to be honest. So yeah, I've tried. I've moved on to other types of guide. Therapy. That's a great one where you could use a guide. So therapy and counseling, that's been a game changer.
I would say that's good. That's good. Oh,
How about you?
Makes me so sad, George.
Thank you for having pity on my body. Many do.
That is. Were they making you do cardio? What were you doing?
I think it was the burpees that got me. Like the constant just motion.
Yeah, it's tough.
Pushing me past my limit. Like I love that they're pushing you, but there's
a limit.
There's a limit. How about you?
That was a guide fail. I blame the guide. I blame that trainer, not you,
agree.
George.
The guide should know the audience.
Yes, yeah.
How about you?
Yes. So for the last 6 months, I've been working out. So I did have a So I do have a trainer. I know, lifting weights. I don't run or anything like that. But yeah, lifting weights. And it's good to have somebody that they know what they're doing. Seriously. And she'll correct your form. I don't know. It's been very important. I don't know.
That's amazing.
I've really loved it.
Way to go sticking with it.
Yeah, thanks.
Unlike me.
Talk to me in a month. We'll see.
That's good. Well, when it comes to money transformation, you got an incredible group of guides this weekend from all the Ramsey personalities and Dave who have lived what you're living through. We've been there, we've done that. We know how hard it is to pay off debt or save that emergency fund or begin investing the right way or paying off the house. And so we're here to help. But I want to remind you guys, you're the ones that have the power to change your life by learning something new and applying it. It's funny, a lot of people come up to us, at the radio show and they'll be like, you guys changed my life. And we literally laugh because we're like, we literally did nothing. You changed your life. We remind them that they did the hard work. We simply showed them that it was possible.
Yes, that's right, for sure. And the great thing about that too is that there's social proof in this plan specifically with money of people doing it, right? We see it every day, people winning. And so having confidence in that plan, I think is key, right? Confidence in the guide, sure. But more importantly, the knowledge, and then even more importantly, are the people that take the knowledge and actually apply it to their life. So, so I think it's great. So, and again, going all in. So let's talk about going all in with your money, because there is a level of the baby steps where people kind of are like, well, I'll kind of do it.
I'm curious, how many make some noise if you've heard the term Ramsey-ish?
Yeah.
Make some noise if you consider yourself Ramsey-ish. Thank you for your honesty.
We love
That's
the
what I'm
honesty
talking
here.
about. Yeah, a lot of people are like, I like Dave when it comes to getting out of debt, but, they all sound like that to me. I don't know why they're all king of the hill for some reason. Man, dang it, Bobby. But there is a beauty to just going, I'm selling the car. That's when we know that people are ready for life change, when they're willing to sacrifice deeply, where it hurts.
Yes, it's the full commitment, the absolute full commitment. So again, we are here to help, which is why we want to pause and talk about the people tell everyone about Delete Me.
That's right. They're one of the sponsors of today's episode. And sometimes the most impactful transformations, it starts by removing things.
Yes.
Less is more, like cutting those little extras from the budget. That's a big part of this. And you know Coco Chanel, Rachel. You're a big fan of Coco Chanel.
Am I?
I don't know. I feel like I barely know what Coco is, let alone Chanel.
Yeah, well, she said, apparently, quote, that to be perfectly dressed, you should look in the mirror and remove at least one accessory before you leave the house.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh, here.
I think you got a lot going on here.
I'll do that. Coco.
Actually, it does look better.
Okay.
I think it was too much. Thank you. And sometimes you need to remove a lot of things, like the cookies that all of these online data brokers use to track you on the internet and get you into fraud and scams. Those aren't the delicious cookies available for the attendees here today. Those are the ones that are bad news bears. They track your activity online, they gather your personal data. And what I love about Delete Me is that they scour the internet to remove all of your info from data broker websites, and they've already saved me 33 hours. They've removed me from 137 different websites. Heebie-jeebie stuff. They got my address, my phone number,
Just
my
so
family's
creepy.
info.
That's what's weird about the internet these days. And I'm an accept all cookies gal.
Oh my gosh. Rachel.
I know, and I'm such a
You got to go to
conspiracy
customize cookies, and then you have to reject the cookies or accept only necessary
who just
cookies.
clicks accept all when you go to websites?
You guys are the problem.
Okay, not a lot though. Who does it? Who says no?
Who's with Team George?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
decline the
okay,
cookies.
Okay.
Anyways, this has been a huge help, and it gives me peace of mind. They send me an easy-to-read report every 2 months, outlining what they did over the last 2 months, and I love it. And what's really cool is that they've given all of you in the audience today, all of our listeners, 20% off their annual plans by going to joindeleteme.com/smartmoney, or you can click the link in the description.
Yep. And again, it's crazy where your info is, right? All over the internet. You have no clue, but Delete Me helps with that. It's very, very easy.
Help protect yourself.
That's right, exactly. All right, lesson 2, when it comes to these transformational shows / your money, is that you need a proven method. And we've kind of talked about this already, but
why would you do something that doesn't work? That's a waste of time.
That is true, yeah. So being able to say, oh yeah, we know exactly this formula that works. So again, whether it was Extreme Home Makeover, whether it was fashion, whether it was parenting with a little wife swap action.
Yeah,
right?
that one is a weird one, but okay. Well, you know, when you think about a renovation, there's the discovery phase, the design phase, the demo phase, and that's kind of where you're destroying to kind of reset, the drywall phase, and it continues on and on. So you've got to follow a process. You can't just go willy-nilly. You don't do the foundation while doing the drywall while putting in furniture. It doesn't work like that. But sadly, most people do that with their money. They call into the Ramsey show and they're like, well, we're trying to pay off some debt, but we're also investing, but we're also trying to save, and we also have a vacation coming up. And we're going, guys, you got to do one thing at a time here.
Yes.
And that's a big part of our proven plan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so like the first 3 baby steps, you do one at a time. And then once you get past that, you can do a couple of things at once, whether it's saving for retirement, kids' college,
Because
paying
you
house
built
off
the
early.
foundation.
That's right. Yep. But again, it's that methodical way of doing something. And that's really where you see change too, which I think is important. Like when you actually say, I'm going to do one step, and when you see change with that one step, that keeps you motivated to keep going.
Yes, and when I started this Ramsey plan back in 2013, I was kind of like that prideful, stubborn guy, which is like most guys, where you think like, well, I know what I'm doing. Just try, I got this. And you can't just swallow your pride and go, all right, I'm going to try it this way.
Yeah.
And it's hard to submit yourself to that someone else's process. But that someone else, now we have social proof. 10 million people have done this, and it works every time you work it.
Yeah. How many
And
of you guys are on the baby steps? I'm just curious.
Make some noise.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
A lot of them. Okay, so they're doing this. They're doing this.
So the order matters, just like in a
Yes.
home renovation show.
That's right.
It's a good one.
That's so great. All right, lesson 3. You need focused intensity.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, you got to be focused in the process. You can't just be like, I hope it happens. Like, we'll see. But when you really are, in this major transformation that happens, some of them are fast, right? We watch this Extreme Home Makeover a week. Psh. They claim it now, but yeah, that happens quickly. And again, when you're watching, I guess The Biggest Loser, it was over a season, so you followed them for a while, which was great. But some of these, it's in one episode, some of these shows, and you just see this change.
Like, what do you think that kind of cold turkey change feels like the first few days for these contestants? That's probably the hardest phase.
So hard.
Is the initial phase. And for most people, that's baby step 1 and 2 and getting on the budget. That's like, oh, this is the worst.
Yeah, and that's why we say baby step 1, the $1,000 emergency fund. That's the easiest step, but it's also the hardest step. And we talk about that because it is the easiest step. It's $1,000, right? And it's like, okay, you can sell some stuff, you can work extra, like you can get that. But it is the hardest step because it requires change, and change is uncomfortable. It's not fun. No, it's not
Any
fun.
of you like just enjoy change? You're just like, I just love it. One lady.
We got
Thank
one
you, ma'am.
yes.
Right in the front. It was like an amen. That's beautiful. Well, most of us, it's hard. It's hard to put down our bad old habits and pick up the new ones. That's a very difficult thing. And paying off your consumer debt, it's a major part of the proven method here with baby step 1 and 2. And time is of the essence. While most other transformation shows take time, we're going, you got to have that gazelle intensity. Get rid of this debt fast. Because sacrifice is hard. Let's at least make it take as little time as possible.
Yes, the deeper you sacrifice, the quicker you get out, which is so key. And again,
right.
It can be discouraging too, because I think we do live in that kind of just instant world where you watch a TikTok video and you're like, oh, you see the before and after. It is so fast. Where with money, let's be honest, it's your life. Like
if you do it the right way.
It's your lifetime, right? It is a continual process of good habits. And for some people, even the process of getting out of debt, right, could take, for some people, it's 9 months. Some people, it's 4 years, right? And so it does. It takes time.
There's no shortcuts there.
I know, which is hard.
With money, there's so many traps and shortcuts with these companies marketing to you. Hey, we'll give you freedom. Here's a HELOC.
Yeah.
Here's debt consolidation. Here's debt settlement. It's basically the Ozempic of in the financial world. It's like, here's a short, quick fix. Instead of changing your habits, just take this pill.
Yeah.
That's kind of our financial culture we live in. We want the easy fix.
Yeah, which is understandable. But again, you have to be committed to the process for the long term to really see that transformation. All right, lesson 4, George. You ready? You need community and unity.
You know, you can't spell community without
unity.
I was going to say calm, but yeah, okay. That's good. No, that's a good one.
But there was something about like Extreme Home Makeover. Like there was something about like their neighborhood comes out. Like there's something about having people rallying
other people in your corner.
Yes.
Nobody wins alone.
Yeah. What a terrible way to live life.
It's lonely at the top. That's what they say.
We don't know.
I've never been to the top, but if anyone's been there, let me know. I got a lot of friends down here at the bottom. But that's true. Imagine these Extreme Home Makeover shows and only one of the family members agreed to let the house be changed.
Oh, that would be a funny show, actually.
And it's a disaster. But here's the thing.
What if one was like, no, you can't mess this up.
Yeah. Move that bus. No. Keep the bus there. Don't touch it. That's what people do with their money. They call into the show and they're like, hey, I'm doing the baby steps. Like, are you married? They're like, yeah. What does your spouse think? Oh, he's not on board. We're like, what do you do? How are you going to do this by yourself?
It's hard. How many married couples do we have here this weekend? Oh, okay.
All right.
Good bit.
How many single people just, hoping, just looking for a debt-free mate?
Wow. Should we I know.
It's time. It's time. A lot of good-looking folks out here. It might be time.
This is good. We should create something.
We should do a speed dating event at one of these. I just want to film it and watch for my own entertainment.
We should create
that could be the next reality show. That's good.
We should create an app.
That's dangerous. I've already tried that. It was called
for these events.
It was based on our ELP. It was called Endorsed Love Providers. where thoroughbreds find thoroughbreds.
Oh my God.
Fine. It was a bad idea. I get it. In hindsight, I know that now. But I dropped a lot of money into that.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways. That's big. Getting your spouse on board is really one of the hardest things. You have to have the unity. And if you're single, you especially need community in your life. And that's why the power of Financial Peace University is incredible, because you get in a space with a bunch of other people who are on the same journey, and you realize you're not alone. It's not as bad as I thought. There's people cheering you on. There's people holding you accountable, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah, for sure. That and just I think being somewhat vocal. Some people are private about their money journey, which is fine. But there is something about like, oh yeah, we had some people in our corner, because we'll ask that on Debt-Free Screams sometimes, like, okay, who was cheering you on? Who made fun of you, right?
And rarely were they like, no, it's just me and by my lonesome, just doing my best.
Yeah. Having people in your corner, I think, is really key.
Even the Facebook group that we have, the Ramsey Baby Steps community, is so encouraging, because they post a little win in there and people are cheering them on.
I know.
You know, like they ran the first mile of a marathon. It's beautiful.
I love it. Love it. Okay, so George, what's some of your favorite before and afters? Let's go to the show, the Ramsey show.
Oh, this is a good one. Yes.
So we have the Debt-Free Screams.
That's kind of our makeover transformation
I would say
stories
so, for sure.
that we capture.
Celebrating people that have kind of hit that milestone, because that's a big one. So, what would be your favorite story, George?
It's like asking what my favorite child is. It's Mia. It's my only child right now. That's the joke. Anyways, my favorite debt-free scream has to be Amir and Connie. They were in our old Ramsey building, and they paid off $986,000 in debt, almost $1 million.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing in a decade, and they paid off their mortgage and everything. And I connected because Amir was an immigrant from the Middle East, like my parents. My parents are from Egypt and Syria. His kids were there, Nassim and Naveed. They were first-generation Americans about my age, just like me and my brother. So I instantly was like, I'm connecting with this story already.
Yeah,
this
for
is
sure.
beautiful. They went through FPU, completely changed their approach to money. They taught their kids the principles, the same principles. They coordinated 13 Financial Peace University classes after that. So they were fully on board.
Yeah.
So 10 years in, they paid off $986,000. They're standing on the debt-free stage, and Dave goes, all right, let's hear it. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream. They go, well, Dave, hold on. Before we do the scream, our kids are here, and because we want them to be a part of this, we want to let them know that their mortgages are paid off.
They paid off the kids'
They
mortgages.
paid off their kids' mortgages
Oh my-
as a surprise. And y'all, there was not a dry eye in the house. Dave's in tears. We're all in tears. We're all hugging each other, hugging strangers. And it was such a special moment. I just remember thinking, that's who I want to be when I grow up.
Yes.
That's the legacy I want to leave. That's
Yeah.
transformation.
That's amazing.
That's changing your family tree.
That's amazing, yes.
And so I included that story in my book, Breaking Free from Broke. I open up the generosity chapter sharing their story because of how much it impacted me, and they were kind enough to let me use it. And I think about that story often of
So big.
like legacy, changing your family tree. It starts with your own family.
Yes. Okay, that's extreme too.
So that's a good one. And that's an
amazing.
extreme story. $1 million in debt
Yeah.
to paying off their kids' mortgages. So that's mine. How about you? Top
love
it.
it.
Can you top that? It's a competition.
You win. No, I'm just kidding. No, this happened just a few weeks ago. I didn't go all the way back in the archives. I just went to like a few weeks ago when I was thinking about this, because I think the most impressive to me, the families always get me, right? They have the little kids. We had 2 families on Wednesday when I was on the show, and the kids are there screaming too. I mean, it's just
So sweet.
it's just great. But I will say, I think it's when there's a single person and they've just done it, by themselves, hopefully with some community and people cheering them on. But I mean, like, there's a determination there that it's like, there's just something there about that for me that I think is just huge. So recently there was a lady, Sam, she was on the show, and she was $163,000 in debt, multiple degrees. It was mostly all student loans. And she was a public researcher, and it was actually pretty funny. She was dating a guy, and he, mentioned the Ramsey show to her, and he told her like, yeah, I really don't want to marry you with debt. That's basically what he told her.
Oh my gosh.
Which, just as a side note, we don't encourage that. If you want to get married, you can have debt and get married, okay? And she took it as kind of rejection, because she was like, there's no way, truly in her belief, she told us this, that there's no way she would ever pay off her student loans, $163,000. She was like, that's just impossible.
It'll just be this thing that's always in my life.
That's right. And so she said, one day I woke up and just realized, I want to do this. I can do this. And the intensity that she did, took on extra jobs, took on extra work. She actually moved to outside the city.
To a cheaper area.
To a cheaper area, standard of living. I mean, everything, you guys. I'm like, she went all out, and it was over 2 years, a little over 2 years, and she paid it all off, completely debt-free. And you're sitting there listening to her, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, that's just incredible to me. It really is. I'm like, it's so impressive, so impressive. And the weekend that she, paid off the last bit of her student loan, he proposed.
Wow, good timing.
I know.
He really meant it.
I know. I was like, dude, we kind of gave him a hard time because he was actually there for the debt-free scream.
This guy must be really good looking.
I know.
That she stuck around and was like, all right, willing to do it.
So hardcore. We're like, dude, are you okay? Is
I
everything
would have
fine?
dropped him like a bad habit.
Yeah.
Let me tell you right now. That's a cool story,
but
though.
there was just something about her. I just loved it. I just love, just the intensity of it. I think is really important.
Yeah, how many of you
It's
in the
huge.
room are single and you're working the plan? Make some noise.
Yes.
We see you.
Good.
You are not forgotten.
Not forgotten. George, you've had a fun transformation story. I wanted you to tell this mostly because of the visuals that everyone in this room and on YouTube will be able to see.
Thank you. Yes, many of you know my story. Back in 2013, when I started at Ramsey, I was an intern. I was 40 grand in debt. This is literally
why
me.
it makes me
I had
laugh.
just moved to Nashville. Go watch on YouTube just to see how sad this guy
I mean,
looks.
just the cardigan.
The funniest part is that's me smiling. I'm wearing a disposable single-use H&M cardigan that's brown. I look like I'm trying to blend in with the forest.
I mean, It's like your version of camouflage.
Yes. And so
Your
there I
version of
was. I was 40 grand in debt. I had 36 grand in student loans, $4,000 in credit card debt. And I got this job at Ramsey. I didn't know much about the place. And I went through Financial Peace University for the first time ever, decided to give the baby steps a real shot. I was like, if I'm gonna work here, I should probably like believe in this stuff. And so let's see.
See if it
and
works.
so I did it. And 18 months later, I paid off that 40 grand in debt after a bunch of side hustles. I was single at the time, and I just busted it, working as much as I could. Side hustles, you name it. Ubering, lifting. I was doing marketing consulting, building websites, music gigs, everything. And so I met my wife, Whitney, at Ramsey Solutions a few years later, and I was already debt-free. She was and is better looking than me, smarter than me, better with money. So she was already debt-free by the time I met her. And I would have never said, well, good thing you're debt-free, because I wouldn't have dated you. Good thing. So I convinced her to marry me. Not hard for me. It was very difficult. And we started setting these financial goals together. And so we decided, we were like, what if in our early 30s, we could have a paid-for house? And so we put an aggressive down payment down on a reasonable townhome south of town, 20 minutes away, and we paid off that home in 26 months and did our debt-free scream on the Ramsey Show.
It's amazing, amazing.
There's the after photo.
Ah, there they are.
So there it is. And to celebrate, I finally upgraded my car because Dave was making fun of me for my car at that. It had like a bumper hanging off. It was embarrassing, this beater car. So I went from like the beater car to like the Dave car, which now he hates because it's a used Tesla. Not a fan. But truly, in a decade, my wife and I went from broke to now net worth millionaires a decade later just by following this plan. Nothing else, nothing fancy. And so I just want to yell from the rooftops, it's possible for anyone out there to transform, no matter where you're starting.
So good, George. I love it. I love it. Yep.
So
Yeah, and I think that's it. I'm like, there is something about saying it's up to you. Like every day choosing, hey, what habits am I going to form? What decisions am I going to make? And it is this sense of like personal ownership that you take on. And when you do that, things change in your life. They really do. It sounds kind of cheesy, but it's just the truth. It really is.
I think that's why the debt-free screams are so empowering, because when people do their debt-free scream, it's like for the first time in their life, they happen to their own life instead of life happening to them. They realize they had more agency than they ever thought possible. And once they figure that out, they go, what else can't I do?
Yeah.
I can go fix my health now. I can go get a better marriage because they have the tools and the belief that it's possible for them. That to me is the best part of the debt-free scream. When people say, yeah, and by the way, a byproduct was I lost 30 pounds on this debt-free journey and our marriage is better. That to me is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Money was a symptom of something deeper. And now they're really starting to solve the bigger issues of their life. And to me, that's everything.
Yeah,
That's
and when you
about.
actually have wins, it encourages you to continue to do that, right? To continue to embrace change and embrace the hard and the uncomfortable, because you get a great result in your life, which is
so
awesome.
beautiful.
Which is awesome. So
And I know
great.
many of you have the stories out there. I wish we could just hang out all day and hear them, because we would all just be in tears and hugging by the end of it. But I know they're out there. They're everywhere. And I love just hearing bits and pieces. Even as I've been here, I've been hearing the stories.
That's right.
So very inspiring.
Yep, can't wait to hear all of you guys soon enough, right? We hear it on social media, we hear it in the comments, and even on the show.
And they come back next year and they go, dude, we paid off the house. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So great. All right, George, it's almost the end of the episode, and we close out every episode with
Guilty as charged.
And this is where our producer, Lindsay, gives us a new guilty as charged question every week. And if we are guilty, we have to take a sip. And
boy.
live here in person,
We have her.
producer Lindsay.
Lindsay! I regret putting Lindsay on camera and on the mic because everyone loves her so much that I'm like,
She's
well,
the
I'm just
best.
chopped liver. It's just Rachel and Lindsay now. They're the best.
Lindsay's the best.
It's such an honor to have you. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good.
What is our guilty as charged question today, Lindsay?
All right. Have you ever started a new habit in hopes for a big transformation and then totally gave up on it?
So this is transformation fails.
Yes.
Don't love that, but okay.
We'll go there. Guilty.
What's
Yeah,
yours?
guilty.
All right.
Yeah.
Sipping.
I've shared this story before, but I'm not a runner. We talked about I'm lifting weights now, which is huge. Great for me. I mean, it's just a big deal. I'm not a runner, hate running, always hated running, like just not my thing. Always not my thing. And I had friends that, were runners, right? And they were like, oh my gosh, you should do this or this race and all this. And I was like, I don't want to. Well, one day I wake up and I decide I could be a runner. Like I could do this. And I decided, I was like, I'm going to train for a half marathon. So what does Rachel do? Rachel went down to the local Fleet Feet store. I don't know if y'all have that. Fleet Feet. I don't know if that's like a local thing or if it's everywhere. It's like a runner's store, right? You walk in, it's all the runners. All the runners are there. And all the running shoes and these brands that you've never heard of because they're specific running brand running shoes. Like it's like this like very nice store, and they look at the arches of your feet. And it's like intense. And I'm like, I'm a runner, right? I decided that morning I was a runner. So I was like, I got to go get the running shoes. I don't know why. I remember I bought socks. I bought like really nice running socks. So I was like,
Specialty socks.
I can't have my cotton like Hanes.
Are they ergonomic? Are they moisture wicking?
Probably.
That's how they
right.
get you.
Sounds right. So I bought nice socks. I bought new shoes, and I was like, I bought a few new outfits for my running new thing that I'm doing. Training for my marathon. I remember I got an app. I downloaded a schedule. I told everybody that I was doing this.
It's what runners do.
They always talk about it. I'm like, oh, you running the half marathon? I'm like, oh, me too.
They're one step below vegans. How much they talk about.
Yes, about what they are.
Exhausting.
Oh my gosh. So I was like, yeah, this is gonna be great. So the first the first 3 days you do like a half mile, right? You step up in your training, and then some days you go backwards in it, right? So I'm a solid 4 days in. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a runner. Like, this is great. And then I had my first long run, they call it.
How long?
How
long?
It was a mile and a half.
Okay.
And I went to this park, and it was the way the trail was, one big loop was 1 mile. So I was like, okay, I got to run this twice. I got halfway through the first loop, and I was like, oh my God, I think I have asthma.
You have like adult onset asthma?
I did. I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And then I just kept I was like, oh my God. So I stopped and I had to walk for a bit. And I was like, I hate my life. Like, I hate this so much. And I started coming around, and I was still walking, and I was like, yeah, and I saw my car.
Oh,
and
no.
And I just had this voice in my head. I think it was the Holy Spirit. And it just said, running is so stupid. This is so stupid. Why would you do something stupid, Rachel? You're like a wise person,
Gotta love the Holy Spirit.
So I saw my car, and I quit. I got in my car and I left.
Wow.
And I never went back. Because, I think smart people quit doing stupid stuff all the time. That's what I taught myself.
Wow.
So,
well, to be fair, Rachel, the Bible says only the wicked flee when no one is chasing them. And that's runners. No one's coming after. Why are you running, bro?
I don't know.
Here's what I always think.
Stupid.
Here's my deep, dark thought. I think, what are they running from?
Yeah. What is going on?
Who hurt them?
Yeah. Who hurt them?
That's why I walk everywhere.
I know, so I can't. And then I see bumper stickers with the mileage and I'm like, oh, that's so
My
sad.
favorite is the 0.0. If you're that person, I love you.
Yes, I know.
The 0.0
So
sticker is my ultimate spirit
That was
animal.
mine. I tried to be a marathon runner and it just didn't work.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I say half marathon runner.
Generous.
Hey, what about you, George?
I've succeeded at everything I've ever tried, so I don't really know.
Oh my
how to even
gosh.
answer that. I think that when I really tried, I was like, I'm going to be a reader. I had my New Year's resolutions. I had the 7 areas of goals, and reading was a big one for me because my wife was angry because I kept all these books. And she's like, you got to get rid of these books. No, I'm going to read these books. At some
point.
So I made a list. I was like, I'm going to read 26 books. It's 1 book every 2 weeks. Not that hard. I mapped out the Google Doc. I was like, here's how many pages I'm going to read every single day.
George, it's like my marathon training.
I felt so good. The planning part was exhilarating.
I know.
So I cracked open the book, and I'm like, all right, I'm a reader. And then after halfway through the first chapter, I was like, I don't think I'm a reader. I feel like, is there a video version is there a movie version I can watch? So I'm going to get back into it one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe in you. I believe in you. It's good.
Thank you.
Linz, do you have any?
Well, mine's probably that I'm an Enneagram 7 for any of you guys who know the Enneagram.
You love fun. You hate pain.
I do, and I try way too many things. I'm the person that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a painter, and then I look at my painting and say, no, I'm not. And then I try cake decorating. And
you made clay earrings for a while?
I just
You
tried
did
it all.
tea
And then
for a while too.
Chai
that
tea?
I'm gonna keep doing. But most of the things I try, and then I just say, "Ooh, you're not good. Quit." And then I move on to the next one.
You lose interest as soon as it becomes not that fun
So
anymore.
no big transformations for me.
That's okay. That's all right. Well, that was fun. I had a good time. I think we're both very guilty. Are any of you guilty?
I'm sure.
Has anyone succeeded at all their life goals? 'Cause I feel like you should be up here. I see one guy right here. You're ripped, dude. You look happy and ripped. All right. That's what it's all about. It's like half the battle.
Probably rich too, you know? It's just great. It's great. Okay, so you guys make sure to DM us when it comes to Guilty as Charged because we love your questions. Our listeners and viewers, they always give us some great ideas. So look us up on social.
And maybe leave a comment with your big transformation fail. That would give me some joy.
Oh, in the comments, that's good. Yes.
That's called Schadenfreude, I heard. Do you know that? Schadenfreude, when you take pleasure in other people's pain and failure.
Oh my gosh.
I realize
that's like America. I feel like
that's what I'm all about. That's my thing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much. Thanks for the question. Everyone
give
give
Lindsay
a round of applause. Thank you.
She's the best. That was fun.
All right, George, who finished her drink first?
I think I'm a little further than you.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine. What was in it? Or no, we got to rate the drink first.
This was a strawberry basil martini. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not even...
I don't know. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, because I always rate the drinks if I would order it at a restaurant, and I wouldn't order it. I'm gonna go 5 out of 10.
Okay, that's fair.
Y'all didn't miss out. You didn't miss out. I wouldn't do it. I don't know. It was just a little too like.
That's it. I think that's the rating. If I could give it one.
It's like a.
It really wasn't bad though. I enjoyed it.
I don't know. Okay, what's in it?
Can't turn down free. The cost breakdown comes out to $2.34 per glass. It's got gin, strawberry simple syrup, basil leaves, lemon juice, and egg white, which adds a beautiful kind of creaminess, foam.
It's the egg white. I blame the egg.
Don't blame the egg. Did nothing to you.
I blame the egg.
Whatever.
The weird aftertaste. Yeah.
That's not the egg. It's not the egg.
The strawberry. What is that?
Maybe. Could be the basil.
Strawberry.
Well, hey, if you want to try it, if you want to risk it for the biscuit, go get the recipe in the show notes and try it this weekend.
So fun. All right, it's closing time. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, if you watched or listened, make sure to leave a review. It helps us out a lot. Share the episode with your friends and your family. Spread the love.
All your friends. And can we just say, this has been an amazing crowd. Give it up for yourselves,
today,
Nashville!
So fun.
The best.
Yeah.
It's time to take this on the road.
I know, we should.
Boise would kill.
But all of you listening and watching that are not here, you're missing out on a really fun weekend. We got some fun stuff, and it's gonna be great. It's really gonna be great. So, again, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an all new episode next Thursday of
Smart Money Happy Hour.